So on today's episode of Guitar Gear 1, I want to talk about delay pedals, and more specifically some sort of secret weapon stuff that I bet a lot of you aren't aware of, stuff that I certainly wasn't aware of. I just kind of briefly like to cover the differences between digital and analog delay, and then of course you also have the Echoplex, which some companies are also starting to make recreations of. So let's start with that. The Echoplex, if you're not familiar, was a vintage unit that literally was very large and had reel-to-reel analog audio tape inside of it. And when you ran your guitar through it, it would record guitar tracks and play them back at intervals that the user sets on top of the unit. I actually don't have an Echoplex myself. I have a good friend that has one, and if you guys send in some emails, I'm sure we'd be able to make some videos with the Echoplex, which sounds just fantastic. The trouble is, it's not very. You wouldn't want to have to use it in a live situation with modern music, I don't think. It'd be very difficult to juggle, and it's just big. It's just a big pain in the ass, basically, but it sounds so freaking good in the studio. So a more realistic approach for most people is a good analog delay. Now, I'm kind of a gear Nazi. I'm just starting to really get into effects, but I've been a guitar guy forever, and to me, I have both, and I'm sorry this is such a shitty video, but I have a DL4 here from Line 6. This is very, very popular. Almost every successful guitar player, professional guitar player right now has at least one of these on their board. The reason they have more than one is because this particular unit features a loop sampler, which a lot of bands use to create guitar parts that have almost like a DJ quality, where you can kind of like stop and start different guitar parts, or you can layer multi-tracks in a live situation where you can get a really big sound where you can just record track on track. But you don't need this pedal to do that. You can buy a dedicated loop sampler from Boss, or Digitech makes one called the Jam Man. There's a lot of them out there, but this delay features several different delay models. And a lot of them are pretty cool. There's some modulated ones, but the thing about this DL4 is, and I don't know. I mean, a lot of other guys seem to just absolutely love this thing. I'm not that crazy about it. It does not, to me, cut through the way an analog delay does. It's kind of like with a transistor amp, where it sounds fine on its own in some cases, where you're playing it by yourself in a room and you're kind of jamming it. And you're like, yeah, this isn't so bad. And then you get it in a band, and it just doesn't have the frequencies that cut through the way that a good tube amp does, or in this case, it doesn't have the frequencies that cut through the way a good analog delay does. Now, a lot of guys are picking up on the carbon copy that came out from MXR, probably getting a year ago now. The cool thing about that is it does feature modulation. There's a modulation switch on the carbon copy delay, and it sounds very, very good. Now, what I wanted to talk about today specifically is, and because this is a page dedicated to making guitar players aware of kind of covert equipment, which might end up being a bad thing in the end, because if people pick up on this stuff, maybe prices are going to go crazy. But this is my secret weapon. My buddy Tom got me into this. Hey Tom. This is the DOD FX90. What's so cool about this is DOD is a shitty company. They're the guys that made the grunge pedal that you see all over the place, the death metal you see all over the place. But this analog delay is awesome. I really can't stress that enough. I thought this thing was just going to be the biggest pile of crap, and I couldn't have been more wrong. It's kind of dark, especially depending on what the life of the battery is, if you're using a battery. But that's going to be the same with almost any effects pedal. Different batteries, life will affect its sound. But you can pick these up on eBay for about $50. And I'm almost ready to buy like 10 of them, because I don't ever want to not have one and then have to pay a lot of money for something else. And they're just so freaking cool. And every single one of them sounds a little bit different, which is, one of the cooler aspects about gear. We're all kind of after that mojo thing. So anyway, I just want to show you guys a few quick sound bites of this, because I don't know anybody that knows anybody that would ever recommend this thing, because I don't think anybody really knows about it. I think it just kind of got lost in the shuffle, and it's almost kind of too bad. So without further ado, I'm going to run some stuff here. This is just I play a angle Powerball for a lot of these demos. If anybody else would like to see me run this through a different amp, just send me an email and let me know. I'd be happy to run through anything else that I have. But this is just a clean channel of the Powerball. The cabinet has vintage 30s in it, and I'm going to be playing through my PRS Custom 24 right now on the neck pickup. So let me just show you guys what this $50 sort of obscure delay can do versus some of these much more expensive units. So here's the clean channel. Clean signal. Let's get that delay going. That'll pretty much go on all day. You can do awesome like Mars Volta, sort of minus the bear, crazy weird delay stuff, David Gilmour from Pink Floyd stuff, all day, and it sounds just fantastic. But then also, you can get country out of it, where if you crank the delay up, ditch the repeats, ditch the mix, all that kind of stuff. That's just an example. I don't play country at all, so I hope you guys don't think that I thought that was awesome. But yeah, I mean, this thing it's got tone for days. So freaking cheap, so cool, so versatile. I can't say enough good things about it, you know? Hope you guys check it out.